I'm Kyle.
And I'm Lisa.
And this is our story. The thing that I remember about our second date was that was really the time Lisa opened up. I kind of talked the most of the time the first time, but Lisa opened up the second date and shared about some of the things that she had been through, and that's when I really realized that our vision for life was one and the same. And at the end of the date, I looked at her and I said, I could marry you.
And I was like, oh, okay, thanks. So it was kind of at that date, it was like, wow, like this could work. But I was gonna be moving in 3 months to Texas. And I had already been planning it and preparing to go to grad school. And so I thought, well, either we can spend time 3 months getting to know each other, and then at the end of that, we'll know if we should be together or not, but I'm moving. So that was my plan.
Yep. So at the end of the second date, this is my favorite part that I like to tell. I went to the restroom and she went as well, and there was like this little archway and it was kind of a small area, and Lisa leaned in to give me what I thought was a kiss, and I think she meant to give me a hug.
I was gonna give him a hug at the end of the date, and he thought I was gonna give him a kiss, which I am not that forward.
So she leans in, and in her mind she's thinking it's a hug, but I vividly remember thinking like, whoa, this girl kissed me, woo, this is the one right here. So, right there in front of the restroom in this restaurant, we had our first kiss on the second date. And then we walked around a little bit, and I went home thinking, man, this girl's the real deal. So, that was the end of our second date, and then we just continued to date. There was a period of time where, as she had mentioned, she had decided she was gonna move to Dallas to do some schooling, and we decided, okay, we'll do long distance. That lasted all of
6 months. So I had to fly out to see him because he worked at a church on the weekends, and so I had to do all the coming out to see him every 4 to 6 weeks. And Kyle was very insistent, well, I can't do long distance for the next 3 years. And I'm like, well,
because I know seminary guys, and it's like, hey, let's study together, let's like read God's word. It's like, no, dude, you want to hang out with her because you think she's cute. I know seminary guys, and there was this one guy in particular, she kept telling me about him, and I was like, I don't like him whatsoever. I know what his intentions are. He's not cool. This is not happening. So I was like, putting the kibosh on that. I was definitely jealous. It was
really hard because he'd be like, well, who did you sit next to in class? Who did you talk to? Who are you studying with? And I'm like, I'm the only girl in this class.
So of course, they're all, just look. It's just, yeah.
It just came to the point where it's like, we either need to break up. I'm like, I can't handle this jealousy situation and flying out. And so I said, well, either we're gonna break up or I'm gonna have to move. And I was like, I just moved, so I don't want to move back to California. I just moved from California. So one of my mentors was out that weekend, and they said to me, well, why don't you just kind of put a fleece out there and just say, if you can find housing in the next 24 hours and get into this other seminary near where Kyle lives, then just try it. What do you have to lose? And this was a Sunday night, and the seminary was gonna start on Wednesday. So this was like a huge fleece to put out there. So I got a list of housing. I called every single person to see who I could rent a room from. Then that next night, Kyle was supposed to go to the 3 top contenders and see if it would be something that where I could live. And then I was calling the school to see if I could get in there. And I would have to drive from Texas to California. So I'd have to leave first thing Tuesday morning. So if I didn't get housing Monday night, this whole relationship was done. And so Kyle went, and one of the places was an option. The other 2 weren't gonna work. So I was like, all right, well, I still have to hear from the seminary. I got in, so Tuesday morning, we packed my stuff, and my dad came and drove my car out with me back to California, and we started dating.